The current spoiler warning level is Infracrimson.
Friends and folks, for this episode, you're looking at a spoiler warning level of Infracrimson. We're talking about machines from the Build series, including Build Fighters Try, which is currently being covered by the Great Gundam Project, as well as Battlelog, which is going to be covered in a little bit, and I think Island Wars as well. Anyway, the point is, it's a spoiler for what the Great Gundam Project is currently covering, and then also the things they're going to cover next. So if you are trying to stay Great Gundam Project safe, you got to skip this episode. Otherwise, please enjoy it. Hello friends and folks, and welcome back to another episode of Mechanista NG, your home for mecha discussion. I'm Six Detmar.
And I'm Dylan.
Oh, gonna be a regular week over here, rolling that regular list. Got my dice here, I'm not in a closet. I've done this bit on several podcasts, so I won't drag it out, but, Oh, actually, I should show a picture of my thing, since this is we have a video version of this. Mm-hmm. I can send a picture of my solution to the audio problem.
Oh, let me see.
Okay, I've DM'd it to myself, and now I can switch to Discord and copy it.
You know what?
And it's a photo, so it'll take forever to upload.
Oh, what? Oh, I mean, I get it, but also,
Yeah.
It is really funny seeing, like, a miniature version of, like, a normal sound room. Like, studio sound room like this.
So they sell, like, boxes like this. They're just, like, $80 and made of steel. And it's like, no, they could do that for way cheaper.
Amazing.
It's, for the audio-only listener, it is a large cardboard box with a hole cut in the back for the microphone to poke through, and then it's just the inside is lined with sound-absorbing foam panels. But enough of that. Let's roll some dice. Let's learn what we're talking about today. Where's the D8? Don't be a punk. There it is. Okay. Okay, that'd be fun. And then within this table... Huh. Okay. We here at Mechanista NG do not ethically endorse this podcast, or this Gundam, excuse me.
Oh, okay. That could mean a lot of things. Let's see.
There are decent odds you get it pretty fast, I think.
Okay. Usually when you're so forthcoming with information, it means that is the case. Oh, is this the Amazon Gundam? The A-Z?
This is the Amazon.co.jp A-Z Gundam.
Okay.
Fuck Amazon.
Yeah. Yep, this is from, Build Battlelog. And this is used by Yuki in a single episode of that. It was a unique Gundam that was seemingly made as just a promotion to be sold on Amazon Japan. Amazon Japan had the streaming, because the build stuff has all been, released online, and, I think the original Build Fighters and Build Fighters Try, for overseas, they just uploaded them to Gundam Info every week, the YouTube channel. But, I think Battlelog in Japan specifically had exclusive rights, so...
Gotcha.
They were like, we'll do a promo Gundam. And it'll be a Zeta, because that way we can do the A-Z joke. And, yeah. So, the A-Z Gundam. This was designed by Takayuki Inase. Kind of an interesting one for him. Funnily, we gotten him 2 weeks in a row, because he also did the Lifrith Urin Thorn from last week, specifically. I mean, last week had a lot of designers, but, he was one of them. And, yeah, I mean, so... The A-Z Gundam, though, starting with the head, we've got a very Zeta Gundam-esque head. 1 second. I'm just checking something real quick. Okay, yeah, no. There's, like, not a lot of great... I'm curious where Chris got all the line art on MAHQ, because I don't even know... I don't have... I'd have to look and see if I have that much build material, but I don't know if I have any build, like, material that has battle log in it, is the problem. You know, I might have stuff that has the series, but not battle log, which came out afterwards. Came out after Try, I should say.
I suspect Chris's picture is better.
No, it's about the same.
Tiny bit. Did you see it very imperceptibly changed? On the video, you'd really have to zoom in to see it get a tiny bit sharper.
Yeah, this is the problem. I'm just checking to see if I'm checking my Gundam build books to see if I can find like a better quality, but I don't know if I just don't know if that's a thing. It might not be. Okay. So I do have a book here. The problem is it's all black and white images. And I'm wondering if this is where all the Zeta are in as well. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh wait, nope, that's Lightning Gundam, which is a different Zeta. Hold on. Battle Log section would have to be after this, right? Okay, yes, here's the Battle Log section. Yeah, it's black and white. And yes, this is where the line art comes from, seemingly, is this build book. Yeah, for color line art, we just don't have good printed material for it. That's funny. Anyway, so starting with the head, we've got a very Zeta-esque head, though it has some changes. And you can really see, looking at the lower right, to me, which, you know, this is also a design by Yanase, it feels like a Zeta head by way of, like, the Harut Gundam, or something, you know? Especially when seeing it in black and white. So, you've got the Mohawk camera on the top. The Mohawk camera is... The head is kind of a little longer front to back than a standard Gundam head. The Mohawk itself has, like, a really sharp back sweep. And, like, little sharp overhang on the back. Honestly, it has kind of a sharp overhang on the front, too. It's not... the camera's more angled than usual. You've got a very bright... sort of, like... bright orange, I guess. It's orange, but it's like a very light orange, as contrasted to the yellow, right?
Yeah, it's very yellowish, but still clearly orange.
Yeah. I feel like if this design didn't have, like, the bright yellow, I'd be comfortable calling this orange, like, just a dark yellow or something, but I want to contrast it more, because this design does have, like, a standard Gundam, yellow on it. Well, I say standard Gundam. It's kind of, highlighter yellow is maybe how I would actually describe it.
Yeah, it's both a little pale and a little more neon.
Yeah. So, you have the orange, forehead gem. You have a V-fin. The V-fin is in that, the bright yellow. Has, like, an extra little notch at the base of it connecting into the forehead gem. The sides of the Mohawk, like, this kind of has a double V-fin thing going on, but the secondary V-fin is, like, at the bottom of the Mohawk, more located in the middle of the head, and it's in the sort of light blue color that is on a lot of this suit, and it's swept back a bit more. I think I would like this better if these weren't the colors. I'm wondering, are these colors, like...
Great news. Great news.
What?
I said great news.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
The next machine is the same machine, but in different colors.
I'm wondering if these colors... I'm like, do these colors have to do anything to do with Amazon? Like, I'm like, does Amazon have a logo? I know it has a logo, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't know.
It says so, on the trivia over here on the Gundam Wiki. It says other nods to Amazon include the color scheme and weapons names referencing the Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. So
the Prime Canon mode. for instance.
Oh, yeah, okay, I just looked... Amazon Prime is like the smiley arrow thing that Amazon uses, but in blue, so that makes sense, actually. Oh, and then that's also why the orange, because under the Amazon logo. Okay. Yeah, well, the problem is, I think Amazon's colors, don't really work for me on a Gundam, especially when you consider the white with it, too. But, especially on this head. I don't think this is a bad design, I just don't like these colors, is my main issue. You have kind of a fancy, setup for the cheek vents. You just have extra panel lining on them, and then I like these, little, trapezoidal notches on the sides of the cheeks. And then for the face mask, it also has, these extra little vents, cut into the sides of it. And then the rest of the face is very Zeta, though. You've got, the wedge chin that's not a different color. You've got, the more narrowed eyes. Very Zeta-esque. For the...
It's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Looking at the close-up art of, the close-up, line art, the chin is very prominent, and I don't really... Is it supposed to be that white bit?
You don't see that? You don't see that bit? No, that's the white bit.
I thought that was the inside of the cheek.
Yeah.
Oh, the chin is just also white. Okay.
Yeah, the chin... Well, it's a Zeta.
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I was like the Zeta...
But the Zeta's chin is usually not separated, right? Am I misremembering?
No, I mean, the Zeta's at a different angle, but, if I pull up the Zeta art, there's the Zeta and its white chin that's forward in the middle.
Huh, yeah, I guess I just don't remember. Okay, fair enough. I think part of what hurts my memory of it is I haven't built any kits of the Zeta, because every kit of the Zeta that comes out, people are like, it is built bad, it's terrible, it'll fall apart. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, the Verka is good. And the second high grade was good.
Is it?
Yeah. Everyone loved
instantly, as soon as I saw the Verka come out, I saw people posting this one falls apart too, and maybe those people were just shit stirrers.
I mean, I've seen I've seen a lot of people be very happy with the Zeta Verka from what I've saw, but okay, I'm not saying this from personal experience. But
I would love that to be the case, so I guess I'll buy it at some point because I like the Zeta.
Then the only other Gundam I ever associate with having a chin like that is also the XS Gundam, which is one of the reasons I like that head so much. Because, very Zeta-esque head. Anyway. Alright, so, moving on to the torso. We've got a yellow color around the head, popped up. We've got a lot of blue armor. It feels like it's almost doing a full armor thing with the Zeta's chest. Just because, this blue armor feels like it's put on top of existing armor. You can see, these yellow vents underneath. Just the way that this blue armor is laid over the middle and the pectoral area and the top, it just feels like additional armor rather than, what the base armor is, I guess, is what I would want to say. I feel like the paneling, it's got a lot of these panel lines on it that also kind of make it feel that way. Even though it's not, that is just the chest, that is, the base chest armor, seemingly, and it does, as we see here, it does transform, but it just looks like you've added extra armor to the Zeta chest. The armor, though, you have a couple of cuts in it. The areas on the very top of the pectoral area, to the sides of the collar, you've got these little raised sections that have, an opening on the front. You also have these wedges of armor on the very side of the torso that come down, end in a point, and those have a little black face on the front of them as well. I don't know if it's a hole or if it's just the face is painted black on it, but it's an opening is what it looks like it would be, maybe. Then you have the vents. The vents are, you have just a large yellow piece on the top and bottom with a big gap in the middle. Then for the middle section, you've got the cockpit hatch area that is in the orange on the bottom half. It has a little bit of blue armor over the top of it. And then the mid section, the white there, is just, Zeta. You've got 2 sets of square or rectangular chest armor going into the waist.
So, on the HG, these little vent spots are portrayed as chest Vulcans.
Okay. Yeah. And it looks like it's also got Vulcans on the collar, so I guess all those openings are just the Vulcans.
Yeah, I guess so.
The thing with... the thing with a lot of build art is I feel like build Zeta especially end up being very simplified, so I kind of understand why it ends up looking like that in the art, because, it's probably why Okawara's build designs tend to look really off as Zeta as well, or as setting art, because, I don't know, there's something about the build, like, setting art that just ends up being extremely simplified in some aspects to me. I don't know why. It just always feels a little off. Anyway. The sides of the torso connecting into the arms, you've got, like, the big white sections, again, basically the same as the Zetas, right before the arms are actually connected in there. Then you have the shoulders. The shoulders are pretty big. They go out way further than the normal Zeta shoulders. It is... Oh, it's an A. It's the letter A. I didn't notice that. Like, if you were looking at the blue from the side. And then...
Now my eyes are looking for the Z.
And then, well... I don't think we're
Must
getting
be
a Z.
somewhere on here.
But yeah, so you have the shoulder armor is colored in such a way that it makes like an A when you're looking at it, And I guess the armor, even though it's a weird shaped A, it is shaped like an A due to needing to look like that overall. It's just no gaps in it, though. The gaps are just filled in with white armor. Then you have some thrusters at the end of those. You also seem to have a thruster in between the 2 plates of armor. The bicep, or the actual shoulder connection is just like a white square piece of armor, though it does have like a little overhang protecting part of the bicep. I think these biceps are just the Zeta bicep. It's just... It's a square bicep. It's got a little bit of panel lining on the front. You have the open joint area. For the forearms, you have very open forearms as well. You can see like the cables on the inside. The outer armor of the forearm is quite a bit bigger. Has like an elbow armor bit that's protruding backwards with a hard point on it. And then looks like it has like a secondary hard point even, or it might be for the transformation on closer to the wrist. Like kind of not quite at the wrist, but frontal bottom of the forearm. And then the hands are just hands. They're standard Gundam hands. For the skirt, the whole waist setup is actually, well, I say the whole waist. The front skirt is different. The side skirt's and the rear skirt, that's just Zeta. The front skirt, though, you've got like a bit of dark blue armor on the top, and it's got like this cleft in the middle of it. And then you've got 2 really large blue front skirts. The front skirts have like a little indentation on the outer side of them, and then on the very bottom you have like a little vent or thruster kind of, opening, and then like the flat part at the bottom for directing it. Then the side skirts, though, they're just Zeta side skirts. It's white side skirts that hang pretty low and then have the little saber holsters in the sides of them. And then the rear skirt is, again, just a Zeta rear skirt, where it's the square armor with the sharp points on the bottom on the inside, and then there are 2 thrusters located on the inside of the skirt, and then the rear waist piece also has a thruster facing downward. Then for the thighs, armor around the front, kind of thick, and you do have some panel lining going on because of the shape of the armor. It's open on the back of the thigh, so you can just see inner frame there. You can see the joint, which also has the cable running in the back, which I believe the original Zeta also has like a visible cable on the joint there like that. For the lower legs, the knees are pretty much the Zeta's knees, where you've got the opening on the top where you can see some of the joint behind the opening there, and it's just like a white piece going almost almost all the way down the leg, like more than halfway down the leg. Then for the actual leg armor, Zeta-esque in shape, though interestingly, so it's colored in blue around the front and the sides, and you have these, just a different design for the outer, like, thruster and armor of the leg here. It's in blue with some dark blue parts on it, and then, it's got a little thruster on the bottom of it. The inside of the leg, you just have, like, a little groove and some panel lining, and then you have the little inner, like, near foot armor thruster on the bottoms of these legs. And then some thrusters.
So the inside of the leg is pretty close to the same as is the back, but these side parts, these side thrusters are much more like direct big booster than the more like Alex, like, the classic Federation Gundam like split booster thing. I've got the HG open right now for comparison, so you can see that style.
Yeah, just it's more substantial feeling than that. As for the feet, they're just the Zeta feet. They have these semi-high heels where there's also like a little hanging bit of armor at the bottom of the leg that covers the top of the foot. You've got white armor on the top, orange armor on the bottom, and like I said, just kind of a semi-high heel going on. Finally, the backpack for this design, I think it's not really much of a backpack, because now that I look at it, I think I have to look at this actual design. These might be attached to the shoulder, like original Tall Geese animation style? I'm trying to see. I need to pull up a review, because it's hard to tell. Because the direct back of this is completely naked, like when you're just looking at the middle back section, it's just flat armor, blue armor from the torso. But it's not like a separate backpack. So I'm wondering if these are connected to the shoulder or not. Give me a second. I am trying to find this. Here we are. Okay, so let's see. How is this constructed? So, turns out when you look at the model and it's not fully done. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the connections for... Okay, the connection for the backpack is weird. I'm using a picture from Schizophonic's review. If you look at the back here, it is below the torso, there's like a little hard point that these are connected into. You can see it.
It does look like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange. It does have a middle piece, and I think that middle piece might be for if you wanted to, because Schizophonic shows this off, you can just put the regular, this is the era where they were also trying to make things more interconnective. You can put, like, the old high-grade Zeta backpack on it. Or I say old, that's actually the newer backpack, even though it's like this, I believe. The Zeta Revive. But, yeah. So... You have these two large, like, I think these are seemingly, are these cannons, or are these, okay, these are thrusters by default, but the guns, when they connect to them, they power up the guns, okay. So by default, these are thrusters, though. So you basically have connected on the underside of each torso, on like a little arm that allows for some rotation, a really complex thruster that kind of has like a folding mechanism that I believe is used for the transformation. Like, this is able to, fold back. But if you look at it, you have a thruster part that is facing downward. The part that's actually plugged in has like a little wing on the inner part, and then a thruster facing down, some armor below that thruster just for directing it. And then on the top, you have a thruster both on the front and back. It has a scoop going on the front and back of it on the top. And then you have a large dark blue wing coming out of the side.
I like any mobile suit that has backdash thrusters. They're good.
Yeah. It's funny because the show art doesn't really make evident like the way the joint looks, but you can really see it on like, the angle here, you can see the way that this can fold and just become, flat, which you can also see if you're looking at the transformed art. Because, yeah, this does have a transformation. Its transformation is basically the Zeta transformation from what I can see, where, the head is being tucked into the main body, the arms are just facing back, the legs do that thing where they break in the middle. They do the thing that originates on basically like the writing and everything, where they break in the middle and then just kind of hold up and pretend they're not legs. And then the 2 beam guns are connected into the thruster, and then the little small shield is put over the front nose of this thing. So yeah, for equipment though, we've got a few different pieces of equipment. So we've got the twin hyper mega launchers. Those are not visible in the standing art. You can see them on the art of the mobile armor mode. Let me see if I can find a picture of them separate just to show them off from the model kit real quick. Here we are. They're fine. They're just, they're big, they're like big beam weapons. They've got a white part on the top, a blue bit of armor on the bottom. You've got the barrel in between. They sweep back. The handle can tuck away for when it's transformed, so there's not just handles dangling or visible. And then it's got a hard point on the bottom and the top of it. I am trying to see when looking at... So when looking at it here, it looks like it uses this bottom hard point, like they're upside down when connected there. I don't know about what this upper hard point is used for. I'm trying to see. Oh, other thing that these can do. I don't remember doing this in the episode. I don't remember Battlelog very well. They can connect, though, on the top and bottom and make like a weird double beam rifle thing. Beam cannon.
Sure.
A lot of distance between the barrels on this, though. As for the shield is visible on the robot art there. You can see it on the left arm. Yeah, there we go. You can see the shield visible on the left arm there, but it's a very small one. It's just kind of there to operate as the nose. You got this dark blue piece on the top. You've got like a lengthy piece on the bottom. Now, the shield does have a hidden beam saber in it, which is pretty cool. You can see that in action on the kit here. So that's... I do always like a wrist-mounted saber of some sort, so that's fun. And then, besides that, it's got its 2 beam sabers. And then it has the prime cannon mode, which is when it connects the 2 cannons into the thrusters there, and then it's a really big beam cannon, which fair enough. And
yeah.
Oh, I guess the other fun thing with putting the beam saber in the shield like that, actually, I didn't consider this, but it can have it at the front of the transform mode, so that's kind of fun.
Okay, that is cool. I do like that.
Yeah, but like I said, I think this design is fine. I don't like these colors on a Gundam very much. Well, you know what? I say that. I think these colors are not laid out very well. Specifically. I get what it's trying to do. I just don't like what it's trying to do. And like, this isn't even just like the moral stance of me being against Amazon. I just don't think it looks all that great in these colors.
Well, let's see how you feel about it when it has a different color scheme.
Oh yeah, and then you mentioned the 4 Vulcans. That's it. And yeah, that's it. It's, that's the Gundam here. Alright, let's see.
But here is the amazing Zeta Gundam.
I'm honestly surprised. It's so funny that they changed the name, so it's not seemingly Amazon related.
I mean, they liked the design, but no free advertising. Pay or we're renaming it.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, this looks better in these colors. It's in Yuki doing the red color scheme, right? The same is it's got red. It's got dark red, a lighter red, and black, and it still has the yellow and the orange. But I think the yellow and the orange with the red works really well. I like the way it looks. Yeah, I just think it's much cooler like this, honestly. Sad they didn't sell this separately. This was just for what is this? Hobby Hobby imaging builders.
Yeah, we got some shots of the Wave Rider, and I think even the Wave Rider looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean,
good colors are good colors, no matter how you shake them.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not like, obviously I think the product placement thing is goofy. I get why they do it. Well, I feel like that era, there's a couple examples, because of weird exclusive Amazon Prime streaming services things. I remember that was funnily the deal with Kamen Rider Amazons was only available on Amazon for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think of they were, and it's seemingly in Amazon Japan they just had a bunch of these exclusives. I don't know if they still do that. I admittedly legally acquire all my things, so I don't know where they're available. But
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, so that's the AZ and the Amazing Zeta Gundam. Oh, I guess that's the other joke, is when it is AZ, you could say it's the Amazing Zeta, though, because it's piloted by Yuki. Okay, I get it.
Uh-huh.
But, anyway, yeah, and that would be it, really.
Yeah, I thought maybe we could do just another one-off Meijin Kawaguchi III design, but I'm not seeing one. There are some. We've covered them, it turns out.
Yeah, I'm like
I would have done the comp for Amazing or something, but no, we did that.
Yeah, I think we did
Zagok.
We did the Zaku Amazing. We did the Exia Amazing and the Dark Matter and all that. We did the Hainu Vrabe, the Amazing Strike Freedom. I'm trying to see. I think we did literally everything. Did we do? Yeah, we did the Scramble Gundam episode, so that means we did the Hot Scramble. Ooh.
We could do the Lightning if you want. That would be pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a Zeta from a build thing. We could do the Lightning Gundam. Well, it's a Zeta, but it's not. We turned the Rigazi into more of a Zeta, funnily, is what it actually is. Yeah, let's do the Lightning. Alright, so the Lightning Gundam is used by, what the fuck is China's brother's name? Yuma, there we go. They are watching it on GGP. I have rewatched parts of it, and I forgot his name still.
He's a character that exists in a show. It's not a show with a lot of amazing characters.
And I think of the three protagonists,
and he's one of the weakest. Yeah.
He's just... I just don't care about him or his revenge plot, really.
And, Fumina is kind of boring, but, you can feel that that's just because they're bad writers and there's something there that they aren't tapping into.
Yeah.
Yuma doesn't feel like missed potential. He just feels boring.
Yeah, and then Sekai, I also don't like, so yeah, I don't really like any of them. Anyway, the Lightning Gundam. So, the head here, we've got a very Zeta-esque head with a very large forehead jewel akin to the original Rigazi. With a double V-fin going on. You've got two yellow fins going back and more upward, and then you've got the smaller fins more outward and pointier. Mohawk camera, just very standard there. Big cheek vent opening. For the face, very kind of a, it is the Zeta, it is the classic Zeta face. This is a design by Kanetake Ebikawa, by the way. So we got everyone making new Zetas. We had Yanase doing one, we have Ebikawa doing one, everyone's making a Zeta. I believe one of the variants of this we will also bring up is by Naoki, or Naoki. So, yeah. Also, the yellow V-fin, the thing that I find kind of interesting is it kind of has a bit of an underline with the way the forehead jewel goes. The forehead, the blue parts of it actually flare out a little bit at the base, but the connection for the yellow V-fin starts, on the inside of that. So you have like this little underline. It gives it kind of a eyebrow or something, which is just a fun little detail. But yeah, and the face is just a Zeta face. In all ways, it's a Zeta face.
It's this very, like, all the, like, the neutral base color in this is a very light gray. In a way that, like, it's like they wanted us to think this design was boring.
Well, I mean,
I don't think it's a bad color, but it's like for a protagonist from one of the 3 heroes of a shonen battle show, it lowlights him so much.
Yeah. It's not doing the same colors as the Rigazi, but I'm wondering if the refusal of making it white, like actually like Gundam white, is an acknowledgement of, the Rigazi being a fake Gundam and also not being white.
And that could work if your darker blue had some pop to make up for it or something, but just nothing about this design pops.
This is fair, yeah. The upper torso is in blue. You've got 3 sections, you've got a pectoral and a midsection. The pectorals have little vents on the underside. The vents kind of have a U shape because the upper yellow part of them is blocked, so you just see the sides and the bottom of the square for the vents. You have a large red cockpit block in the middle. The torso, it's still a Zeta torso. You've got the inner frame visible there. It doesn't have like the little separators, I think, that the normal Zeta tends to have. Because, again, this might be a Rigazi, but I feel like in general it's evoking more Zeta than Rigazi overall. But, which, I get why you do that. It's just funny because, like, you see, it's based on one, but the feeling is more like the other. Anyway. So you've got a couple sections of torso armor, though, as you go down. You've got gray, like that, that kind of gray armor hanging below the vents. You've got a big square of gray armor around the midsection, and then it's a darker gray around the very base connecting into the waist. You also have some of the lighter gray armor underneath the cockpit hatch area. For the shoulders, you've got these relatively large shoulders. They have these big green openings on the front. These are I can't remember if these have an actual, like, what their function is. I know that he connects the rifle into the shoulder, so I'm assuming it's just doing the same thing as, like, the A-Z Gundam, right? You connect it in and it powers it, but... Oh, no. They are shoulder sensors, so I guess so it does actually use them for sniping. I couldn't remember. So I guess the idea is it is relaying info from the suit's other sensors into the gun directly, is the idea when it does that. Now, funnily, it does that by blocking the sensor, but, look. It's a gimmick. Anyway. You do have some blue armor on the top of the shoulders, and then on the side you have a little, like, flat, almost double Zeta-esque, bit of armor, just like a flat plate going out sideways. It does have, like, a little thruster on the underside, which is fun. For the actual arm, you've got a gray shoulder connection, light gray bicep, just kind of a very simple shape on it. You have the little block joint in there for the forearms. They're in light gray with a little bit of yellow on the outsides of the forearms. On the very outermost side, you've got this little wrist port here. And then you have a dark gray part going back over the elbow that has a little hard point in it. You've then just got the hands. The hands are hands. For the waist, you just have very simple, it's a crotch piece in gray, kind of sharp at the bottom. You've got 2 front skirts. These front skirts are in white. They have, like, the thing where the top area goes a bit more forward than the bottom, like there's like a little step to the armor. You also have these little outer parts that have, like, a big hole in them. For the side skirts, you have these really long rectangular side skirts, also have a hard point in them. Then for the rear skirt, you've got these flat rear skirts. They have thrusters in the bottom of them. and then I'm trying to see the very back middle, if it is doing the middle thruster thing that the Zeta does. I cannot remember, and it is kind of hard to find a version of this that doesn't have some form of backpack on.
Mm-hmm.
I have a version of the front without... Okay, yeah, here, rear art without the back weapon system on it, so you can just see it's just like a hard point there. As for the legs, the thighs are in light gray, large visible joint. You have a very large knee piece that's popped up and around the joint. I kind of like the way it like wraps around. It's just got this like little cut inside of it in the same shape as the front of the joint, so it just like fits around it in a way that I think looks really cool. You've got blue armor on the sides of the calves. The outer calf, you also have a little bit of white armor that is like, you know, just adding a bit more of a pants leg, bell bottom thing to the leg there. You've got a little ankle armor like cover on the outside. It looks like that's on its own joint though, like that's got some movement to it. And then you've got a piece of armor covering the joint of the actual foot into the leg around the front. Same thing, you've got like a little joint visible there where it would be able to move up and down on. Then for the feet, you have like a little gray piece on the top. They're blue around the sides and the bottom, and then you've just got the light gray parts on the top of the toe, and then like a very little bit located on the heel. And then it's got sort of a high heel, kind of a double high heel thing where, like, you know, the separation between the toe and the heel, you know, there's a little bit of a gap there with some height. And then you also have this like little wedge sticking down from the heel as well. So kind of a weird double high heel thing going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the base design, there is no backpack. It does have some thrusters built into the torso there. Just these big square thrusters built into the bottom torso aimed out. You have a large hardpoint, though, on the back of the torso, which is where the lightning back weapon system connects into. With the lightning back weapon system just being... I mean, it's a back weapon system. And what that actually is... Here's the art of it separated. It's basically just like a little flat set of thrusters to add more mobility. It can activate and be used as an independent support machine too. So it can also act as like a drone. But I mean, it's, you know, it's not like there's not a lot of extra function to it. It is just essentially a pair of thrusters though.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it is like large and flat. You've got the middle section has kind of like, you know, the midsection of the Zeta where you've got this like little you know, nose piece here. It's got some white on the top. Mostly it's in this the dark blue. Then each side you've got a thruster unit that has like a hard point on the top and a thruster facing backwards. And then on the sides of each thruster unit on the outside, you've got another thruster unit, which then those have a pair of rotating wings on the outside of those. And the wings are able to shift downward, and I believe the white part on the inside is able to move outward. And there you go. It's just like a very flat, you know, almost base jabber-esque kind of backpack thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
When it transforms, when it transforms, I actually kind of like the look of it because it has these extra little wing parts that pop out of the nose cone. Like that part there. So that's kind of fun. But, you know, it's very standard. You can see this version of it here has equipped onto it. You can see these little hard points on this underside area. I believe... Let me see, actually. Where do these come from?
I do also like the HG. This gray is made a little more, well, I would say significantly more blue.
Yeah.
And I kind of, like, again, it still doesn't have, like, protagonist pop, but I do like
the HG is much more, that's just Rigazi colors, which I think is better, yeah.
I mean, the Rigazi's, Am I misremembering? I feel like the Riga Z, like everything in that movie is more green.
I mean, yeah, but when they make modern models of the Riga Z, I feel like they don't make it this green either.
You're probably right.
Let me
don't respect the Riga Z, so
hold on. Riga Z MG. I'm thinking about like the newer ones.
They made an MG of that piece of trash?
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I
guess they've literally made Plamo of pieces of trash. They've literally done that. So I guess it's fair.
Well, I mean, and you know what? The Riga Z is actually even the more modern, like 1.5 that they did of it. Because it got an original master grade. You know what? It's actually pretty similar to it. It's not too desaturated. It's not really.
Yeah,
desaturated.
that's got some green there.
Yeah, I couldn't remember very well. You know what I was also thinking. I'm wondering if, let me see, unicorn, because there was also the unicorn version. Yeah, I'm betting I had this in mind also. Because they did the 1.5 and then they did the unicorn colors.
Oh yeah, that's definitely more. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, this is how they did the Riga Z custom master grade also.
I mean, the custom's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't do that without having a base to work with.
True. Yep, you're right.
Riga Z custom is cool though. Anyway. But yeah, I this is fine. It's a sniper unit. I think you're right though. It doesn't really stand out, and I don't think its equipment is all that unique, unfortunately, either. Mainly because, again, it has head Vulcans, it's got beam sabers, it's got a beam Vulcan in the left arm, which that's what that little like hole's for there.
Mm-hmm.
It has the beam rifle, which is, let me get art of the beam rifle real quick. So the beam rifle, God, I hate the attachment parts of the Winning Gundam. You have the beam rifle itself. It does kind of the victory thing, where the idea is it is a handgun with modular parts, so you can see this is the base little wimpy handgun, and then you add the long barrel and the scope and whatnot over the front of it,
and
which makes it into
the longer barrel.
And then it's got a longer barrel one. I like the longer barrel having like the cable and stuff. That's fun. I don't think the design of this stuff is bad. Oh, also it adds a sensor unit with a grip on it to the side, which is fun. But I mean, it's a beam rifle, and then that's pretty much it. It has a separate shield that is on the left arm. I'm trying to see if the shield has its own art or... Yes.
It can do the...
Okay.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, here. So, I forgot. That part there is always on the back. The shield is what operates as the nose cone, so that the shield is the part that has the wings that can pop out. I believe when this is used on the arm, these wings are not out on the shield, though.
That's correct. And it can also be used to do, like, the ground Gundam, like, sniper, like, stand thing.
Yeah. But, the other thing going on here, so you can see... I was trying to figure out where the hard points are. It turns out they are just under those. Like, when it is using the hard points, these white caps come off, and then there are hard points underneath. And then it has two... I believe these are just beam cannons that can be mounted on there. Yeah, there are two beam cannons, or the other thing that is there is an 8-tube missile pod. Which I believe the 8-tube missile pod is literally just, it opens these caps and there's missiles in there. Rather than it being like its own separate part, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So.
It does.
Anyway, yeah, that's the back weapon system though, and that's... Okay, yeah, when it is equipped with, quote-unquote, equipped with the missile pod, it is just the caps are on, so it just would open those and, fire missiles out of it. So, Yep. Yeah, it's fine. Again, it just doesn't really have that much of a gimmick going on with it or anything, and, I don't think it stands out, and it doesn't help that at least for me, still, even on rewatch, I think Build Fighters Try is a show with booking problems.
Yep.
And I think that the booking problems exacerbate this design not really feeling like it matters all that much. Trying to see real quick, because I've got my Ebikawa book. Give me one moment. Okay, yeah, here's the build section, I believe. No, that's not... Nope. What the hell's the Build Fighters stuff? Is that the front? Okay, yeah, here we are. Yeah, here we go. So, we do have... Oh, this is on the wiki. I'm dummy. I only just noticed that. But I was gonna say, we have a rough draft of the design, where it looks like Ebikawa's rough draft. It was a bit more Rigazy, and it had a bigger, much larger backpack there. But you can see, like, this head is much more of a Rigazy head.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And, like I said, much larger backpack going on. But, it, not too off the mark of, like, the details. And then... Yeah, so this gets an upgrade where Yuma, makes a bigger backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The full Burnern.
I guess we won't be talking about the other one, because I think we talked about it during the Zeta episode, because I was going to bring up the last one of the... Anyway, whatever. Alright.
What was it called?
It's the Lightning Zeta Gundam. I think we talked about that during the Zeta episode.
I think we might have.
That was the one I was hinting at is by Naoki, but yeah, that's fine.
Gotcha. I'll double check that. Give me a second.
Yep.
You could just...
While you do that, I'm going to just bring up... Yeah, so the full Burnern. The full Burnern has new equipment. The actual base suit is the same. What it changes is the backpack and rifle and everything. So, the backpack, as can be seen here, is a much larger weapons pack. You've got a bigger nose cone in the middle. It's got a thruster unit still on the sides. You have another binder that has thruster units on the back, and then over the front, I believe, does it have both a missile pod and a... Yes, so you can see these little units right here. I believe these are the missile pods in the gray on the top, and then on the front you have a big beam cannon that can also be used as a beam saber mounted onto the fronts of these. So it just kind of combines all the armaments from the prior back weapon system. And then on the outside, though, the thing that makes this full Burnern is it has these two large thruster pods that are, like, able to rotate around. And they are very square and boxy as opposed to circular, like the full Burnern, GPO-1. They are just, like, two large thruster pods, though, in a very similar vein as the GPO-1 full Burnern. So, hence why this is called that. And
it looks like we didn't do the Lightning Zeta. So
oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do that too. So yeah, you have a double thruster set up in each of those little pods, though. And yeah, that's it for the backpack. The backpack changes. It's a larger backpack unit. It can still operate independently. It's just the Lightning Back Weapon System Mark II. The additional thing is... I'm trying to see if I have in this book... Do we have line art? No, it looks like it's always holding the beam rifle, so let me just get a screen cap of the new beam rifle from my art book here. There you go. The beam rifle, it is still like the little handgun as the base, and it has like the sensor unit, same sensor unit as the long barrel one, but it's completely new, like over the barrel setup with like these two rails on it. Camera on the top, you've got this like large tube on the top as well. So just a alternate beam rifle design, basically, that goes over the handgun. It is called the high beam rifle. It is still like a sniper beam rifle.
Yep.
And I believe the shield might be the same. Yeah, I'm thinking the shield is the same shield. So, it changes the backpack, and that's his upgrade.
I mean, it's better.
There's a sort of side grade from the movie Island Wars, where it is another one of these. We've got
Could you hit undo real quick? You deleted one of my sidelines.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
All right. And yeah, so this is the Lightning Gundam Strider, which is... It has the back weapon system Mark III. So it is yet another back weapon system. This one is in red, so it contrasts pretty hard. You've got the middle nose piece, you've got some thrusters on the sides of it, and a lot of armor around the middle part. And then for the outer wings, you've got these like two large red initial binders, and each of those has like a very age 1 or age 2 normal like set of these extra wings on the outside. I think the backpack on its own looks neat. It looks like a little shmup fighter, especially like with the wings splayed out. But
and it does look very like the colors are very like Reborn's Gundam kind of, and then or like Jinx 3, but yeah, like the shapes, as you say, are very age.
Yeah, and it's fine, but it's not great. It's just kind of, I think the non-matching backpack and whatnot doesn't really do this design favors, because, I mean, it just contrasts so heavily. It's kind of got, like, the Amuro Zeta A1 thing, where it's, like, the red and then this, like, beige, like, this warm beige color, which is completely the opposite of the color profile of the relatively blue and cool Lightning Gundam. And yeah, I mean, this backpack also doesn't seem like it adds much, all things considered.
Yeah.
That's kind of the issue. And then, it doesn't, like, from what I remember, I'm looking just to make sure, I'm like, does it have a unique... Yeah, it has a unique beam rifle design. I don't really care for this beam rifle design either. It's just kind of these... It's like this weird flat gray part that goes over the barrel that's underneath there. There's like a barrel in the front. And it's got some white armor on the sides of it, but I mean... It feels like this is made for a different mobile suit. It just... What it feels like is Epicot was told, okay, you gotta make a third backpack, real quick for Island Wars. And, not an upgrade, nope, just the backpack, and it's just not that great.
Nope.
Which is funny, because I actually like a lot of the other weird Island Wars design. There's things like the Double Zeta 2, the Gancelot, and the Double O Shia Quanta, and I think all those are pretty great. But then... The Lightning Strider is, like, maybe the most disappointing one in that movie. Or special.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. And then one more related unit, even though it's not technically related, but it is. Come on. It's called the Lightning Zeta. It is made by Yuma. It's the Lightning Zeta Gundam. Which appears in the very last episode. Honestly, they should have made him use this, given that, Sekai uses the Burning Gundam that he made for the last episode. Instead of the Lightning Gundam, he should have been using the Lightning Zeta here, which is a Naoki design. It is kind of wild. It is, if I remember right, this is kind of similar, if not pretty accurate to, like, a custom build that Naoki had done prior for, like, one of the GBWCs.
It feels like the Destiny Zeta. I guess that's just like the red wings are doing that to me.
Yeah.
The black. I mean, it's dark gray. But
so, yeah, the Lightning Zeta is a Zeta Gundam that is very heavily modified. So, the head is basically the Zeta Gundam head, especially when drawn in the anime. They just draw pretty much 1-to-1, that's the Zeta head. It looks a little weird in the art here, but to be fair, this is setting art made from, presumably, Naoki had his own art, and then, they simplified it. But the torso is where you get the first major change, so very Zeta-esque in the colors and layout up until you hit the connection into the waist, where This design has like these double pistons going into the the front of the waist with these armor pieces that are like above the front skirts that are covering them. And I think it looks extremely cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have these, you have chest vents though. The chest vents are yellow vents with like a little, double vent that can open up on the inside in yellow. You've got a big blocky white cockpit piece, red cockpit piece. But yeah, you don't have like, it doesn't really have like your normal Gundam torso thing going on where you've got the big rectangular torso. Because it's just like, there's like a big spinal inner frame in gray that you can't really see, and then you've just got all these pistons and then like this cable running into the waist, which I just think this is a really unique look, and I really like it. Then you've got the big white wedges separating the torso from the shoulders. The shoulders are like larger, more exaggerated versions of the Zeta's very vertical shoulders. Essentially, it's the Zeta shoulders, where they're quite tall, but they do have these like large boxy thrusters facing downward on the outside. The bicep is white armor with a lot of panel lining going on both the front and the rear side of it. Just kind of a standard block joint. The forearms are, again, like what if you took the Zeta's forearms but exaggerated them. They have these bits of red armor at the base, on the front, or on the top and bottom of the armor, I should say. For the outer part of the forearm armor, you have this large blue bit of armor, has these little yellow parts in the sides of them, and then has a hard point in the middle that the shield is connected into, and then you've got some white around the wrist, and then the hands are hands. For the skirt and the waist, you've got like a large crotch piece that is facing a lot more forward rather than downward, with blue on the top and then like a white piece below that. You have these very simple skirts on the front that are connected below the armor that's over the pistons going into the waist. Just very simple, square skirts going on there. The side skirts, again, they're Zeta side skirts, but heavily exaggerated, where the little covers that are normally like where I believe these are where the beam sabers are normally stored on the original Zeta, are like much bigger, and the actual like length of these feels a little longer. The rear skirt is just in white. Now, they design it very plainly for the anime. I'm curious if the model kit actually still has like the Zeta's thrusters here, because the model kit is a more detailed version of this design. Like, the skirts have more panel lines and whatnot. This is definitely one of those designs where, when I'm talking about like, oh, the setting art feels really simple, this is like one of those designs where I feel it's extra true. Actually, we can see the way it's simplified, because while we don't have Naoki art of the original Lightning Zeta, we do have Naoki art of the variant, and the variant is just a recolor, so I'm going to just post that anyway, because it's based on, the white and pink and gray Zeta. And you can see how different the actual Naoki, like, drawing the details is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more, And a lot of these details are retained on the high-grade kit. Like, the chest on this art doesn't have the little bumps of armor there, but the high-grade does. So, like I said, this setting art is not quite indicative of what the actual design is, which is really funny. That's always another thing, like, when it comes to evaluating these designs and using the Zeta and whatnot, is when they simplify them this much, it's not actually representative of the design in the way that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's, and it is, like, to be clear, they say specifically this is just a recolor, no other changes have been made. And if you take this,
the high grade, yeah, specifically. I mean, it's...
And you can see, it's like, there are the holes from this design, as you say, the little chest guns, the little hook element on the knee, and then you compare it, and all those are missing here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, this was, the left art was, an animator took this art and was like, okay, we need to make us able to animate this for literally the single episode that this exists. And,
Mm-hmm.
So, I just wanted to have both for comparison, though. So,
absolutely.
The legs,
the
though...
one on the right is the Lightning Gundam Aspros.
Yeah. The thighs, though, you've got just some panel lining details going on the sides and the front. You do have this bottom piece of armor that actually protrudes forward a little more. You have very visible joint part. The joint is quite large. It looks like there's actually quite a bit on the back of the leg, too, which is interesting. Oh, the reason why is because this little bottom part right here is actually connected to the, like, the back of the leg and is, like, a cover for the joint on the bottom. It's just also in the same gray color as the joint. Then you have these really neat knees where you've got, like, almost like very A-Z Gundam, kind of like thin wedges going upward. And then you've got the, like, this, like, little U-shaped, or not really U-shaped, like, knee with, like, a little indentation in the top middle of it that plugs, like, over that. And then you have a bunch of these, this, like, visible frame on the inside. Very Hyakushiki, actually, for these parts here on the leg.
Yeah.
Where you've got, like, the 2 spikes of armor, and then you've got the little bit of armor in between, and then visible inner frame there. I really love the piston detail that you can really see on the Aspros art there. As for the feet, though, they are in white around the base. You got this little gray piece on the top, and then they are red on the bottom, and then red for the heel. Not really much of a heel here. They're very chunky feet. And finally, the thing everyone always brings up with Naoki, huge backpack. So we've taken the Zeta backpack, complete with, like, the, you know, it's got the Zeta nose cone, it's got the 2 sections on it, with the thrusters facing down. It's just kind of larger and more exaggerated, and especially these outer wings, rather than being connected as part of the binder here, with, like, the, like, little red wings that fold out. You have an initial set of wings that fold out, and then those wings have wings on them.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they are black and red, which, again, these are Zeta colors, but because of how much more of a silhouette it does, it feels much more like the Destiny Gundam, like you said, those kind of wings. Just because that's just kind of what it evokes when you have large red and black wings like this. And, yeah.
I do also... I both really like how it looks in the Gunpla form with, like, its attachments, its parts, like, on it. And then also I really enjoy that it was created for the White Wars, which is apparently a Gunpla building competition where your mobile suit has to be white.
Okay, that's why. Okay.
But, like, with a gun on there like that looks pretty good.
Yeah, so the hard points on the arms... you have on the left arm a shield. It is a very Zeta style shield, you know, nose cone. It's the nose cone, right? Now this design, funnily, this design doesn't transform.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So this design doesn't transform. Well, what you use the shield for instead is the nose of the Phoenix Burst.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the beam rifle though can, as you showed there. Can go into the hardpoint on the right arm. And here's some line art of the beam rifle from various angles. I do like the shape of the beam rifle. I like that it's got, like, the fully enclosed grip. It's basically a fancier version of the Zeta's beam rifle. Like, a lot of the shapes here, especially for the area of the barrel on the front, is very Zeta-esque, but then it's got, like, these extra, like, shields around the top and bottom of it that kind of cover it up. Does still use the same E-Pack as the Zeta, which I think is fun. And then the grip is, like, the other thing that's very different. And then also you have this large circular scope on the outside. Kind of reminiscent of, like, the Sazabi's beam rifle, the Sinanju's beam rifle or something.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, that's this. So, this has a couple of different modes. So... the Phoenix Burst, I think, is the less good one. So what happens is the 2 wings on the backpack come off. The shield connects to the top of the rifle, I believe, and then... Actually, I think it just is the shield.
No, I think it's just holding in its hands.
Yeah. And it fires a big fucking bird out of it, which is goofy, and I don't care for all that much. It is... The Phoenix Burst system... Oh, yeah, okay. It even has the, It has the lasers come out of it that line up the shield with gripping into the hands, which I think is fun. Now,
Sure.
the actual cool mode that this has, that is an alternate mode that is shown on the Gunpla and does have art, and this actually feels like the proper alternate mode, is, so you still have the wings connect into the hard points on the forearm, but what you replace it with is the cannon and the shield are moved to the backpack in order to make a quote-unquote cannon mode. And I think this is kind of like a cooler looking gimmick there. Gimmick mode. You can see it like that. So it just switches, what is connected into the hard points. The wings go on the arms, and then the gun and the shield just go onto the backpack. That feels like the one that's actually made by Naoki. I'm sure he did both, but I will admit the Phoenix Burst just feels really, I don't know, feels goofy. Oh, I don't care for that.
He needed a super move.
They needed, because the idea is it's replicating one of Sekai's moves, so yeah.
Right.
I think the Aspros colors are good, but that's because I like the, Zeta 3A type. So.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I like this design generally. The production art does it a disservice, but
yeah. Funnily, when I think of a non-transforming Zeta, though, unfortunately, I always have to compare it in my head to Kazumi Fujita being like, "Oh, what if I made a Zeta that doesn't transform and just looks really fancy?" Let me see if, you know what? I'm curious about something. Let me go to that design and see if it does like any of the pistons. No, it doesn't. I was like, where's the Zeta where he was like, I want to keep like the overall like shapes of the Zeta, but I want to make it not transform. Kazumi Fujita, of course, did the actual cleanup of the original Zeta Gundam. But then for his one Tyrant Sword thing, he special like little section. He did a bunch of alternate Zetas, and this was his example of a Zeta that can have a more muscular form because it doesn't transform.
There's also a fun. This is just from the show. When they show the Lightning Zeta like in the display case, they draw it like Naoki's actual art.
That's really funny.
They add all the missing features and stuff.
That's really funny. It's just, yeah. Like I said, the build Sete just in general, just for some reason, is really simplified all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even more so than I feel like 00 and whatnot are. I don't know why it always feels so striking to me. Technically, there's also this, like, weird SE drive having Zeta that Fujita drew. That is, again, it's not like an official variant, it's just, hey, I'm doing a What If Zeta. This one I love. What a weirdo.
Very, very Hyakushiki mass production.
Yep, which, to be fair, is also a Fujita design. I mean, Fujita did a lot of designs in Zeta, and then he did all, like, the ZMSV designs and stuff, so. And again, he did do the original Zeta, like, cleanup on it, so. Anyway, yeah, that's it for, God, what did we even roll today originally?
Originally we rolled the, Lightning.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No, we did something before the Lightning Gundam.
Oh, the AZ. We did the
right,
AZ.
Yeah,
right.
okay. I was like, I couldn't remember either. Anyway, alright. I hope, if you're a fan of Build Zetas, this is your Build Zeta episode.
I mean, I had fun. There
Yeah.
were some decent designs in here.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. Alright.
Alright.
Well, 6, where can people...
Stop deleting my
Shit.
barrier.
It doesn't normally... I swear it used to not let me highlight these.
I don't think that's true. I think you just used to be more careful.
Whatever. Alright. Well, 6, where can people find you and your work?
You can find me on bluesky6.scanlinemedia.com, and you can find my work at scanlinemedia.com or patreon.com/scanlinemedia, and of course, you can join us on the Scanline Media Discord, link down in the show notes everywhere but YouTube, if you want to make requests and talk about the episodes and be like, hey, you missed this, and all that kind of fun stuff. Dylan, what about you?
You can find me over at Low Poly Robot on Blue Sky, and that's usually just where I'm posting stuff that I like. So, yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of like corrections, so how did you find out the JNT head thing?
I was looking up just information on the guy, and it was on one of the pages.
Okay.
And I looked for a second source, and it was on the second page. I was like, okay, I guess that means it's true.
Yeah, no, it's just funny because to fully expand for the listeners, Six had messaged me the other night, late enough that I thought I was like having like a weird dream when I had woke up and I thought about it. But it turns out the designer of the Ariel is JNT Head, which given the way it's always spelled, and like the way it's always like. You know,
we've always said gin fed around here.
Yeah, because it's like all packed together as one word, and it's always all caps, so my brain just never really thought about like, oh, it's, you know. But yeah, no, it's apparently J&T Head. Which I just think is interesting. Wanted to bring that up. Anyway, alright. Well.
Alright.
Peace.
Well, peace out, everybody.